What's up, Flea fam?
What's good, Flea fam?
What's good, Flea fam?
This is Rachel Sadowski.
And Kristina.
And we are ready to spill the tea on all things flea.
So kind of just want to have a conversation about we'll get into kind of what a flea market is a little deeper in another episode, right? Because that all varies. But I just kind of want to, I guess, pick your brain and maybe tell people what you can experience at one of our locations. And so I guess we can, I don't know, if you want to just dive into your experience.
Yeah. So my experience, okay. Are we going to go based on certain swap location or when I first got there?
Yeah, that's a good.
Because I feel like every location of Swap-O-Rama has a different
vibe,
experience
for sure.
vibe.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Let's start with Melrose Park. Okay.
So the first time I went to Melrose Park.
Well, wait. So let me backtrack too,
Sure.
in case anyone's new here. So Swap-O-Rama has 3 locations in the Chicagoland area. We have one in Melrose Park, which is our smallest market in comparison to the 3. We have one in Alsip, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago, and then one on 42nd in Ashland in the back of the yards neighborhood.
But each location has different hours.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So each location is open once during the week, respectively, outside, right? So for example, Alsip is open on Wednesday outside. Thursday, Ashland Avenue is open outside. Seasonally, it opens on Tuesday too, when it's nicer. So that one was open Tuesday and Thursday in addition to the weekend. And then Melrose Park will be open on Friday during the week, outside only. And then they're all open on the weekend. So
got it.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about Melrose Park, going there. I guess let's just high level. What do you think? What were you, when I told you, hey, I work for a flea market, what were your thoughts?
I don't know why she wants my help.
So have
what
you been
exactly
familiar with one
does she want
before?
me to do here? Yes, but not really. So when I go back to flea market, I think of honestly, in Michigan, there's a place called Gibraltar Trade Center, which is it's secondhand, antique, indoor mall, but you can find a ton of knickknacks, anything from furniture to clothes, kind of like a flea market. If you say flea market to me, I think of honestly 10 years ago when I went to the Bahamas and going to a flea market there and seeing it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Outdoor, it was indoor, but the sides were open. You could get fresh fish and you could get a new beaded bag. After that, I kind of haven't gone to a flea market, so I didn't really know what to expect. When you first were I work for a flea market, X, Y, and Z, I want your help, come to the flea with me. I didn't really know what to expect, but I was blown away right away.
Yeah.
When I tell you, you can find anything at these flea markets, I mean, I have walked away with a full Skims influence cozy set.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten stuff for the house, makeup, there's so much. And I think that's the cool thing is they at least Swap from the 3 locations I have been to, they offer such a wide variety of products and services. So I'm really excited to tell people just how much we actually do have and you guys offer, because I feel it's literally a Chicago hidden gem.
For sure.
That more people need to know about, especially younger people. Me and Kristina are in our early 30s, and I have literally found some of the coolest things at Swap. But it's when you tell someone I'm going to a flea market, they just have this idea that it's garbage, leftover stuff in a way.
I think it's super interesting that, when we talk about like the history and like more in depth like definitions and stuff, like why would it's so funny why they call it flea market, right? But I think with a respect, like again, growing up in this area, like especially our Alsip location is right off of the tri-state, like one of the main highways in that kind of attaches all the suburbs. And so we always like knew about it. So like as a kid, like for fun, like my parents would like make it an outing. And I mean, we didn't go a lot because it was a little far for us. It was like 45 minutes away. But my mom made specific trips. Like her mattresses are from there, like a bunch of stuff. So it was like a big deal when we went. Like we knew it was, like a Costco trip, right? Like you don't like just go there being like, oh, I'm going for one thing. Like Costco tells you what you want to buy. I still feel that like initially kind of when we like went to all of those locations. I mean, I felt starting like, from like the parking lot.
Where do I go? Where do I start?
For sure.
Is there like a map? Do you guys have a map? Like that's how I felt.
I know.
Like what aisle do I go down? What am I doing?
Yeah, for sure. And I think like all of the locations with respect, it's like, especially on the weekends, and like they're also like culturally diverse. And so and like you said, like when you went to the Bahamas, it's like a lot of other countries that is how they shop. They shop at like on the streets. Like street vendors are really, really, really like a thing. And so I think with respect to like the US and like kind of the Midwest, like I think we're seeing more of that, right? Like pop-ups, even like more vendors that like, we go to like do Division Fest or like something like that. And there's like really cool people and like artists that it's becoming a lot more popular is lines to get in. So, if you want to go to the flea, go at the right time to avoid the lines. But
seeing like the creativity that goes behind like these small business entrepreneurs create like that storefront.
Totally. I mean,
because they all look so different. Like, I'm not going to lie. When we went last weekend, even just like to the makeup booth, I literally felt like I was walking into a mini Ulta.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Sure. I was like, okay, organized, clear, prices, where everything is.
Yeah. A lot of them too, like try to keep up with that and try to like spice it up. So a lot of stuff does change and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I agree.
From a culture perspective. Like what did you think about like seeing maybe some stuff that you haven't seen before? Because, there is, for example, a pretty strong Hispanic culture at Ashland Avenue. So like, what were your initial thoughts, like seeing all that?
Number one, I loved it. But sure, awesome. I think one thing that like really, the last time, I want to say it was like September. No, it was definitely like October, November. We went to Ashland Ave and the mole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I was like, first off, what the hell is this and what is going on? I had no idea that was like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Full circle. Went to get like enchiladas after at Pilsen Yards.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we did.
And it was literally, do you not remember?
Yeah.
It was like what the sauce was made out of. And because I like saw it at Swap, I was like, I have to now I feel like I have to try this. And it was so good. But like, that is one thing that stood out to me. Yeah. Like when I went to Ashland Ave, like going back to like Hispanic culture, like I had no idea what that was. Just like, I think it's so cool. All the like fresh produce, like dried, the dried stuff, like the dried, like peppers and stuff they have that you can like make a sauce out of. It's cool to see like a culture like come through, and there's like so many different vendors who like support it. There's somebody that's got street tacos and is making elote. Then it's just cool. Like the whole vibe, it reminds me of almost going on a vacation.
Yeah.
It's just like, so everyone's talking to everyone. Everyone's friendly. You walk down the aisle. They don't know you. They're saying hello. It's just a very welcoming place.
Yeah. I think that's so interesting that you say that, because it's also so like inviting and respectful, because it's like, yeah, maybe that's not what you're like accustomed to, but like they're also so the vendors are so cool about like explaining it to you, and like, you know, they want you to like learn like what stuff is and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it is like a big like growth and learning opportunity too, like you said. For like sure. That's how it was for me. Like the cactus and aloe, when they like shave all of that,
so cool. Had no idea what
literally
that
was. And it's so funny because now like it's like once you do get educated, then you're just like educated. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, there's aloe in my makeup, or like there's all this stuff. And it's like, it's so cool that these people, you know, have it. It's like second nature for them.
What I'm kind of going back to, and like the energy,
you
know, it's like, it's not a competition,
no,
but it makes it more fun in a way.
For sure. Comparing like an experience from like a regular store versus like the flea, right? I love the part they actually like explain something to you. Like there's like passion and heart behind it.
Of course, there's like a story.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like
an emotional sale in a way, because you can like feel like a personal connection.
Totally, it's not like scripted or forced.
You're trying to hit your sales numbers for the day.
Totally, like they're genuinely just wanting you to have like a good experience, get a good deal, and like they hope it's from them that you're buying from, and like it's such an organic feeling where I just like feel way better. Do you think it's weird that there might be somebody selling like motorcycle helmets next to someone who's selling like used tools, and then right next to them there's like someone selling like oranges and limes and stuff? Like, did you think that was like weird?
No, and honestly, I think our generation and the way the people are nowadays is like, they don't want to fuss with like having to go multiple places for multiple things. I think convenience is like something that everybody like looks for in any service or product, honestly, that they're buying or consuming. So yeah, I think it's cool as hell that I can go and find like a vintage t-shirt and then pick up limes and lemons for my girls' night tonight, where I'm making cocktails for everyone. Yeah. Personally, I love it. Yeah. Do I think it's weird? Not at all. I just think it's like, why have we not been talking about this before? Seriously. Like I said, my very, very first time we ever went to the market was more so like, where do I start? Right. Not overwhelmed. Right. There's so much like good stuff. Yeah. Do I want to go look for like some sick old shoes, boots? Like, do I want to go find some good deals on makeup? Like, it's kind of like, where do I start? I would never say overwhelmed. Every time, you know, that I've gone back in the last, 6 months, I'm like, oh, I've seen it all. And then I get to the market and I'm like, wait, you guys have been here?
Did we go down this road before? I'm confused. Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's so much to look at, and I feel like, you know, I wouldn't go in there and say I have a half an hour. Yeah. Give yourself a little bit of time.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you kind of got to like walk through and see everything, because there is so many different vendors. And like I said, every vendor and every location is a little bit different.
Yeah. And we get that comment a lot, where it's like, you know, folks will say like, you know, bring your comfy shoes, or like get ready to walk like a bunch of steps, because it really is like an experience where you probably won't see everyone. Right. You know, and so it's interesting. You got to buckle up.
Because you can get food there. Like, there's so much more. I feel it's more of like an entertainment experience in a way that provides shopping to those who are, you know, looking to shop. And it's also a great place, you know, if you have a small business or you are a new entrepreneur and you are looking to kind of get your name out there. I think having a booth there and being a vendor is an awesome idea.
Yeah, for sure. Just that hustle, you know, we mentioned that earlier, like
the grind,
the hustle, the grind, the like, you know, some of these people will like literally sell in like 30-degree weather, as we saw.
I've seen,
you know,
in
and
the
it's
snow,
in the snow, in the rain,
hail, in the wind.
They're like equipped, and they just like, it's second nature. And it's like, yo, I have to feed my family. Like, this is how we make ends meet. And then you have another business that might just be doing it on the weekends. You might have, you know, and we've seen it kind of all, like you said, like taking the time to actually talk to the people that you're buying from, it makes you feel so good.
Of course.
To do, you know what I mean? Because you know that you're supporting someone's dream and vision, like directly.
Of course.
You know, and that's also like a big one for me too, like I said, where it's like, you just feel so good about the experience. It's like,
I think it's kind of like I said, like an
personal.
emotional sale.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to sell $200 today.
Yeah.
They will leave with having one person bought one thing from them, but it's the experience around the whole transaction.
For sure.
You know, and I think sales related, like it's not anymore about selling. You need to be able to be personable and connect with people on a different level.
For sure. It's so cool. I don't know, like any other comments that you would say?
I would say my biggest thing with like the podcast right now and like letting people know what we are doing on You, Me, and the Flea is just kind of bringing in that like younger demographic and younger age group of people and making like flea markets sexy again, straight up. Because there's so many things that like you can truly get there, and honestly, it's like a great day date spot to go to.
For sure.
I mean, I just want people to kind of know, like, it's not just like a flea market. Like I'm literally trying to be like, making flea sexy again, but like there is so much to do. You can eat there, you can shop there, you can sell there. Like, it's endless possibilities.
Yeah. And that's like so interesting you say that. It's like making it sexy in all regards too. It's like, let's bring back some of the like face-to-face social interactions, right? Where it's like, dude, like
everyone is so used to like the whole virtual working, remote,
for sure,
everything online.
Like other podcasts or like a lot of self-help stuff that's like been saying that like a lot of people have been down lately, you know, obviously depression and all these things are like at a rise. And it's like one thing that we've been missing so hard is like social interaction and like, face-to-face time. And it's like, you know, it's so hard to like pick up the phone nowadays and be like, hey, like, let's go to the mall. I used to do that all the time growing up.
No one goes to I mean, honestly, when is the last time you went to a mall?
Well, don't go to the mall, go to the flea, but.
Duh.
No, but seriously, you don't. And it's like, that used to be a thing. Like my mom would call her friends and literally.
Meet at the mall for hours.
All
day long.
Not need anything. Nope. Sometimes just window shop and that's cool too.
Get out,
walk
around.
Get out, like do your thing. And I feel like, you know, to your point about making it sexy again, like that's kind of what we're saying. Like, especially with people, you know, our age and like an upcoming generation, like we see people want to work for themselves more and like want to make their own hours and stuff. And this is a perfect opportunity and platform for you to do that. So if you do want to go the selling route, I think that's super cool. I also think it's super interesting, you know, and we've touched on it throughout this episode where it's like there is so much like culture and diversity within the market, right?
Sure.
So it's like you have this like cool hipster vibe sometimes of like people like, you know, hunting for just like vintage teas or whatever. And we have all that.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, your culture community that relies on it for produce, like versus going to like a supermarket. Like they're coming and buying like bulk produce and feeding their families. And so you have like that kind of look. And then you have, right, like these older folks that are super into like interest in their hobbies and they're collecting items. Like it's so funny. Like I remember one time going to the market and like this woman like almost like trampling me over to like grab this like vintage magazine. I'm like, what? And she's like, you don't know what this is? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not like a collector. I know nothing about that stuff. And like, I literally looked at her like, nope, just looks like a magazine to me. And she was like, in heaven, bought it for like $1, probably reselling it for like hundreds, if not, I don't even know. But anyways, it's just, so you see like all ages, like
all walks of life.
Yes, literally.
All walks of life.
And like, it is just like, kind of, that's one of my favorite things too. Like, you know, we'll talk to like our bosses and like the heads of Swap and like, they're collectors. They love like old, like, you know, our CEO, he's like, our president, he like loves vintage cars and like all this kind of stuff. So anytime he sees anything like that, like an old school, like fire truck or something, like he's got to have it.
Into it.
Yeah, so into it. And I'm just like, that's so awesome. And then here's me. I'm just looking at all the trends and like the new stuff. Like, oh my God. And it's so funny too, because like half the time, like, again, like, let's not forget that these people like have firsthand on like good stuff.
Yeah.
Like later, it's all over TikTok, all over Instagram. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's awesome. That was on sale for $5.
Yeah.
And then now it's like $25. But anyways, like, it's just super cool. If you have not been to a swap, you need to.
Absolutely need
for
to.
sure. For sure. And we'll talk about like, you know, what a little bit more in depth about like what fleas look like in general. Because there are, you know, we have like definitions of flea markets, but then so many like varieties of it are coming out too, which is super cool that we can touch on. But
and
yeah.
like Kristina mentioned, you know, Swap is also in Florida.
Yeah.
So if you can't or don't live in the Chicago area and you are somewhere else, we do have 2 locations in Florida as well.
Yeah, Central Florida for sure. Yeah, man, I think it's so interesting that, you know, this episode is like our virgin experiences of the flea market, for example. But I really think that like every time you go, it's a different experience.
Every single time.
Literally.
I mean, even for me, in the last 6 months, I've been a lot of times
Seriously.
to each location, and every time a different experience.
It's so cool. It's
honestly,
so cool.
I don't know if I like more the vendors, the swap, you know, staff, or the visitors, but everybody's just vibing off of everyone.
For sure.
And it's just, it's so fun.
For sure. For sure.
I mean,
it always puts you in a good mood.
It does. And I feel like too, especially as now, like, you know, it's getting warmer outside. Weather's changing.
There is nothing like a flea in the summer.
There's
I'm
nothing like any kind of outdoor market in the summer.
I'm telling you right now.
Looking at the city, the sun's shining, you're walking around, you got your elote. Meet us at the flea, baby.
Seriously. I mean, you'll get all the flower vendors, so it's just like beautiful out there. Music is pumping through everyone's veins. Like, you can't help but have like a good time, like for real.
I agree.
So anyways, check it out. Check out Swap, the 3 locations, Melrose Park, Alsip, Ashland. We do pop-ups too. We do a pop-up at the Will County Fairgrounds, Peotone, which is always a good time too. That's a whole different vibe, and
I will say too, you know, if you know anyone who are looking to get a booth at one of our locations, send us a DM and we can give you, you know, directions, and
we'd be happy to take you around and show you what's up. Or if you go by yourself, I want to know. I would love to know what your like, it's super cool. I can't say enough like how many times like I think we've seen in like comments where people are like, oh my gosh, like I used to go there with my dad, or like it's such a nostalgic feeling for people.
Sure.
And so I love hearing that too, because like anything that brings you back to like your childhood or like good times, like, man, don't you just want to keep going there? Like, it's cool. So
if you guys do go, give us your feedback. And if you are going to any of our locations, make sure to tag SwapORama in your post, and we will share your page and share the love.
Yeah. We're one love, baby.
Shop, swap. And thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode of You, Me, and the Flea.
Because we definitely spilled the tea on our first experiences here.
And if you like this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll be back next week with more, baby. So yeah, this is Kristina and
Rachel Sadowski.
We'll see you next week on You, Me, and the Flea.
Bye, guys.
Bye.